Welcome one and all. Welcome to my channel. Subscribe if you want to subscribe. Uh, like, dislike the video. Comment, leave a comment. I do read my comments, and if you do ask questions, have questions, and post them in the comment section, I will try to reply to them the best of my ability. I also want to get notified, but I do look at all my comments and I try to respond to all of them as well too, whether acknowledging them or such, basically. Okay, so this is a big one. Honestly, as you can see with the hat that I'm wearing, it's I don't know if it's a good day or if it's a bad day. I mean, it's great to the fact that the Mets have an owner in Steve Cohen where he's willing to do whatever it takes to win, essentially, whether it be right now and for the future, but more of like right now because of the fact I think he does have play money. I mean, being a multi-billionaire, I think he's allocated about $1 billion basically for the team, practically for the payroll, to the point where like he wants the team to win. This is kind of his play thing, basically. I It's to the point where like it's exceeding more than what was anticipated. But honestly, I think it's more of a case of getting the fans out there. But the real question comes down to is, will he start charging more as well too, like concession stand on the concession stands, but also tickets, season tickets, etc. Basically. So the signing of Alex, with Correa, basically, it's a huge thing. To be quite honest, I mean, signing him for 12 years is one thing, but signing him for like $315 million for 12 years. I mean, I don't know. Carlos Correa is great shortstop with the Minnesota Twins, but in reality, I mean, you already have Francisco Lindor, so it's like you're adding another bat. So now you have basically in this situation, basically you have Lindor, you have wait, hold on, Lindor at short, McNeil either at second or third, and then you have, of course, the polar bear on first. Um, it, whew, it's like it changes a natural order of things now because of the fact that with him at first, where do you play Correa? Do you play him on the uh, third or second? I mean, reality, it looks like he's going to be moved to second, third in this situation, which I guess in a ways makes sense, but at the same time, it's a question of, all right, like maybe we could have gotten a better defensive third baseman, to be quite honest. Um, but I don't know. It's part of me, you know what? It's part of me is like basically, the fact that they also signed, what's his name, Verlander, which was great. I thought it was a great buy as well too, or pickup basically. But the question is like you got Verlander, you got Scherzer, of course, and then you've got. Sorry, I'm going into the like a little bit onto the Athletic basically, but you basically got Korea. You've got the polar bear, of course. You've got Lindor. Uh, Quite honestly, I don't know like how this all affects everyone else in the rest of the whole. Um, well, it's basically the whole team. Basically, it's like it's not just the whole team, but it's more of a case where like um, yeah. Honestly, I mean, the fact that you'll get Lindor, you'll get you know um, what the sorry, you get Lindor, you get um, Correa now. Um, it's a question of like, can you sign Soto down the line? That's a real question because like Soto's still going to be a free agent. Um, because Juan Soto either's probably going to stay with the Padres, maybe go with the Angels most likely, and the other question is, will you be able to get Otani at this point as well too? I mean, you resign Nimmo, or for a hell of a lot. Same thing with Edwin Diaz, for a hell of a lot as well too. Verlander, and you got Senga, of course. Quintana is another. Uh, Ottavino and Robertson are good Pickups. Navarez, I guess, might help out a little in the situation. But honestly, I mean, this definitely changes the Mets dynamics a little bit. The real question is like, um, the real question is who becomes the captain of the team. Um, some might say, oh, it should be Pete Alonso, but does he? I mean, if it's I think what in 2 years he becomes a free agent. In that situation, do we resign him for something of this nature as well? Too, because this guy's going to look for the exact same money, or if not more. To be quite honest, I mean, he's going to be looking for Aaron Judge money practically. But that's in the future, basically. Right now, the whole question is this: um, with the fact that you've got Correa, I mean, it's not truly finalized yet, but it looks like it's going to be finalized. You've got Lindor, you've got Alonso, uh, you've got Nimmo now resigned. You've got what's his name? I forgot I honestly forgot the right fielder now. Oh, what's his name again? New York Mets roster. I'm gonna have to look it up basically. Sorry. Um, Current. All right, so like McCann was as a bust now. You're going to keep Nito and Navarro, so you're going to have to trade McCann, of course. You've got Vogelbach as a DH. I don't know if he's going to stay, maybe. Escobar and Guillermo, one of them is going to go because the fact is Correa is going to definitely be third baseman. Lindor is going to be shortstop, of course. You've got McNeil, which is most likely to be paying your second base. Of course, um, Marte, that's the one that I'm not sure of. Starling Marte, he did good and kept you good in there, so you keep him there. The question now is, what do you do with um, Brett Batty? I mean, Brett Batty, you were expecting him to be really well, and then there's Vientos, of course, too. So like the question is like with these two, and for that matter, Alvarez, but more of Alvarez and Batty. Like, what do you do with these two? I mean, honestly, they were supposed to be your prospects. You don't want to trade them now because you want to keep them. Because like this is you don't want to be a team that buys. I mean, you could buy, but you could also build within as well too a little bit. Just have core players around them basically. And like honestly, I would love to have, Pete Alonso. Well, now you got Lindor, Batty, if possible, Batty. I would love to have Batty at third base, but but then you got a question of McNeil. Then what do you do with McNeil? Honestly, maybe McNeil becomes your DH. Honestly, or maybe he plays first and have yeah, basically him and Alonso. Let them switch back and forth basically. Because if Batty's your true batsman as well as batter, and he's really good at not only offensively but defensively as well too. And then you got Correa as your second baseman. I mean, those three right there. And then if you have Alvarez as your catcher, that whole side is good. And then it's just really the right side basically. And then if you use in this case, actually, I don't even know about Vientos to be honest with you. I would love to see what Vientos does as well too, but I don't know. This is a little. The one thing that this is a little hesitant about with this all the signings with Correa signing as well too, and the fact that we signed Verlander and we have Scherzer of course, but we let DeGrom go. This kind of seems oddly eerily familiar of the '93 Mets, where you had all these superstars and they just plain out sucked. They sucked. Now, of course, Buck Showalter is a different manager, of course, compared to I forgot the manager for the Mets at the time. New York Mets manager 1993. Jeff Torborg, that's it. Jeff Torborg, sorry about that. Showalter's no Torborg for that matter. He will get the best out of his players. But the real question comes down to is this does remind me, it's seemingly eerily reminiscent of the 93 Mets where they had all this talent and they just plumb sucked. Now Lindor has shown that he's doing really well. He's done well. He might have an off year. The question is, will Pete Alonso be good enough this year in 2023? But the other big question is, can Korea last for at least another 5 years? Because I have a feeling what's going to happen is this might be another Cano situation with Korea. Um, I don't know. Hopefully it's not, knock on wood. But if it is, then hopefully we can trade him off to another team and get some prospects in return later on down the line. I don't know. We'll see. But there's that aspect of like the fact that's reminiscent of that. But the other factor is now you've got this multi-billionaire in Steve Cohen with the New York Mets that you might see now other multi-billionaires starting getting involved in baseball teams and like specifically these hedge fund managers like, hey, you know what, multi-billionaire hedge fund managers like, hey, you know what, I want to get into a sports team, baseball team, because I want to like win something and have something to my name essentially, because it's one thing to have a company but it's another to have a team associated to those winning streaks basically. I mean, Steinbrenner is now synonymously known with the New York Yankees. The same thing with the Wrigley's, now well associated with the Chicago Cubs, and like it's been well known for quite some time now. The question is I mean, the O'Malley as well too with Branch Rickey with the Dodgers and such, and uh, what's his name? It's eluding my head, but I have the picture of his face right now. For the Boston Red Sox owner. Listen, it's good to have the thing. Oh wow, it's Brian O'Halloran. Okay, Brian O'Halloran. Anyways, I mean, I thought it was Henry. Honestly, to be honest with you, I thought it was Henry. Current. All right, let's go to the owners right now. I mean, I'm going to look at the list of owners that we have currently in Major League Baseball. The Braves are owned by Liberty Media. Baltimore Orioles, of course, is owned by Angelos. Oh, that's right. John Henry is the Red Sox, and the Ricketts now own the Cubs. You got Reinsdorf with the Chicago White Sox. I think he's honestly known with that because Reinsdorf is known with the White Sox as well as with definitely for the Bulls, of course. Um, um, as I said, basically, you've got the Steinbrenners, of course. Um, I mean, the list goes on basically in those cases. And I think this is a case where, like, now you might have multi-billionaire hedge fund managers like, you know what, I want to get involved as well too. So the real question is for the small market teams, what happens to them at this point? Honestly, if you're going to lose money in the small market teams if you have a payroll of this nature, like the Tampa Bay Rays, Minnesota Twins, Cleveland Indians, Cincinnati Reds, of course, as well too. I mean, you try to justify some aspects and like try to build a team off of like a good set of monetary cap and salary cap, but it can only go so far. And then of course you got the Oakland Athletics. I mean, they've done decent enough, but I don't think it's going to last now. It's all about Moneyball, not Moneyball, but high end Moneyball. Because of that. So it's one of those things where you're not going to find these discounts now. And agents nowadays now know, hey, you know what? If they want them, it's because of their, on base percentage and such. And so like because of that, they're like these are being valued much, much more higher as a result. So for the small market teams, I don't know how they're going to survive. Honestly, it's going to be a case where like I think you're going to see these big money hedge fund managers buying out these smaller market teams, building out the teams, and creating not a large fan base, but more of a large case of branding for them to make them popular enough that it redirects them a little bit to other areas as well too. I mean, you're not going to get the fan base. I mean, you can get the fan base, but you're not going to raise the prices to the point where like it is what for what they are. Like the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Pittsburgh Pirates are not going to be worth like going to be spending over $100 million on payroll. Same thing with the Tampa Bay Rays. They're not going to do that. It's more of a case where like they're going to try to be smart about it, but to the point where like if you get these hedge fund managers buying them out, then they're willing to go up that high. The thing is, you're not going to get a return on investment. That return on investment is not going to be seen within the capacity of the fans themselves. This is like one of those things where I don't know exactly how the longevity of this will last with the Mets. Honestly, I mean, if it's a case where like with Cohen he loses a hell of a lot of money along the ways. If he does, will he bail out? I don't know. It's a possibility that like it all comes down also to his hedge fund as well too. If they they crash, then we got a problem at that point too. Um, so I think you might see some tech entrepreneurs as well too that are multi-billionaire tech entrepreneurs that might jump in eventually down the line and like start buying out teams as well too. For the sake of making what it is. Um, I don't know. It's a little tricky. I don't want to say tricky, but it's a little more something where seeing down the lines where I think you're going to see salary caps being invoked. To be quite honest, I think the salary cap will come into play soon with Major League Baseball. Just like with the NFL and NBA, I think it's going to happen with Major League Baseball. And I know the players are going to probably sort of like, no, we're going to put a strike. I think it's going to come down to like fans knowing that the players are agreeing, like, what, have a cap in place. Let our teams be competitive. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. But for now, I am kind of happy. I'm not being overly optimistic because, like I said, this is seemingly reminiscent of '93. So let's see what happens. With that, though, leave a comment, any feedback. Let me know what you think about this. In any case, unfiltered, unedited, and unrehearsed. Until next time.